One of the great entrances in college basketball. This team is one with their fans. The fans are one with the Volunteers. They've won 27 straight at home, fourth longest streak in college basketball. 40-2 over the last 2+ seasons in Thompson Bowling Arena. But tonight, a big hurdle at hand for the 7th-ranked Volunteers of Tennessee. They take on the 2-time defending national champion, Florida Gators. Just a little over 2 years ago, it was the number 2 ranked Florida Gators who came to Knoxville with a perfect record of 17-0. But Chris Lofton had 29 points. The Volunteers with an 80-76 win. As the final buzzer sounded, the students rushed the court, and first-year head coach Bruce Pearl had a huge win. Tonight it's Super Tuesday presented by KFC, and it's all part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. And our matchup at Thompson Bowling Arena, the number 22 Gators of Florida against the 7th-ranked Volunteers of Tennessee. You take a look at the East standings. On top, the Florida Gators at 6-1, and right behind, I should say Tennessee at 6-1, Florida right behind at 5-2, and that is Kentucky another game back. Welcome, everybody, to Knoxville. I'm Brad Nessler with Jimmy Dykes. It is Super Tuesday. It is Fat Tuesday. He'll help out the super end. I'll take care of the fat side of things. Florida lost over the weekend to Arkansas. Made this game even bigger than it was going to be.
First of all, I don't want to know what you had to do to get that necklace around.
It's pretty impressive.
That's a story for later on.
Yeah.
But I think Florida comes in right now knowing that when they were on the road at Arkansas Saturday, they got runs put on them, and they did not respond well. Bruce Pearl told his kids this afternoon, we're not playing Alabama, we're not playing Ole Miss, we're not playing Mississippi State. This is a team in the Eastern Division. You want to hang a banner in this building, you win this ball game tonight.
All right, let's take a look at our Star Watch. A couple of guys we'll keep a close eye on in the backcourt. Nick Calathis and Chris Lofton.
Well, Nick Calathis, no other freshman in the SEC, is asked to do more right now every night for his ball club. And Chris Lofton, Brad, 4 straight 20-point games, right at 50% from the three-point line in those 4 games.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Chevron. First for the visiting Gators with Billy Donovan. Jay Lucas and Nick Calathis, the freshman with the old guy, if you will, and Walter Hodge back there. Up front, Dan Werner and Maurice Spates. And for the hometown Volunteers of Tennessee, joining Chris Lofton in the backcourt, Jawan and Ramar Smith. Another Smith up front, and Tyler with Wayne Chisholm. Let's check in third member of our team, Janine Edwards. Janine.
And Brad, I won't tell you what we did for these beads either. That is later. If anyone doubts the intensity of this rivalry, look no further than the conference record of these teams over the last 3 years. Since 05 and 06, Florida and Tennessee have been the 2 winningest teams in the SEC. They even have an identical 28-11 record during that time. But the similarities do end there, for Tennessee has won 3 of the 4 matchups during that time, including last February, with Florida ranked 5th in the nation. The Vols upset the Gators. They would not lose again. 10 straight wins and a national championship followed.
That 9-point win over Ohio State to win their 2nd straight national crown. This is a 113th meeting between Tennessee and Florida. Our officials tonight: Ted Valentine, John Cahill, Tom Eads has got it in hand, and we're just about set for maybe the biggest game at this stage of the SEC season so far. And they're going to re-jump. Tyler Smith and Maurice Spates will do it all again. Tennessee's won 14 of their last 15. Florida has won 13 of its last 16.
Florida has really, really good half-court offense. They're going to get good shots. You look at their losses, they just don't shoot the ball well, but they're going to get good looks.
Not that time. They won't get a look at all. First turnover. Tennessee can turn turnovers into points. This time they turn it into an offensive foul. And it's on Tyler Smith. That's what Tennessee does. When they get a turnover, they're looking to head down court in a hurry. This time a little bit out of control, and they give it right back. Bruce Pearl done a marvelous job in his 3rd season here in Knoxville. Billy Donovan, you know what he's done. The dean of SEC coaches in his 12th year, back-to-back national titles. The 3 goes for Nick Calathis, his 35th of the year.
Florida's so good at always having a shooter spotted up on the weak side corner. Know where the personnel is.
Lofton answers on the other end.
Yeah, he's got his stroke back. We saw it 2 weeks ago in this building come back to life, and he has shot it well 4 games in a row, almost 50% from that three-point line.
Hodge on the pick and roll, gets it back to Warner. And now Hodge out on top.
A lot of random pick and roll offense out of the team in blue tonight.
Warner takes a step back and fires. Everybody on this Florida team is capable of doing that. That's what makes them so dangerous. If they hit the shots, as Jimmy said, they weren't falling against Arkansas. Well, they're 2 for 2 outside the arc. And now the Gators with a steal. Lathis with the screen and gets it back. And now Spates with the extra pass. Picture perfect. That's the way you draw it up.
Yeah, Brad, again, triggered by a random pick and roll situation out top. I mean, they're the best in this conference at that pick and roll offense.
Smith faked the 3, drives with a left hand. Warner rips down the miss, and now it's 3-on-2. Lucas, pull-up jumper, got it. Boy, for a team that couldn't hit on Saturday, they can't miss right now. 10-3 early, Florida. Lofton has the only Tennessee basket. Now it's Chisholm. He always tries at least 1 3 a half. Missed this one from the corner. And did they get the timeout called? They were trying to get the timeout and apparently got it. 17:36 remaining. First half, all Florida here early. No timeout taken, as it'll be Tennessee ball on the turnover by Florida, as Calathes tried to get the timeout called and couldn't. Tyler Smith, extra chance, and Warner with another board. Calathes on the run. Great outlet, and it's all Florida early.
So far, Florida has been super, and Tennessee has played like they're fat on Super Fat Tuesday.
Instead of PHAT, just plain FAT.
Just plain FAT.
That's what I was trying to get around to in the beginning.
Now you see Tennessee go to their flex offense. And what Florida will do to you, Brad, is show zone and then go man, or man and go zone. Try to keep you off balance.
On this Super Tuesday, if you voted right now, you'd vote Florida. They're up by 9. Might be more. Spates keeps it alive. Sticks it back up there, and it goes.
Boy, a real concern for Tennessee the first 3.5 minutes of this ball game. Florida getting wide open looks on the perimeter. And they shoot too well to give them wide open looks.
11-0 run by the Gators. Bruce Pearl's going to let his Vols play it out here. Didn't call a timeout, waiting for the TV version. Cruz on the inside, missed the left hook. Spates clears it off, and Calathes will bring it down. A stunned crowd right now. They were a mile high during the introductions. Only the student body's giving it a try right now as Hodge leads it for Spates.
Oh, shredding them, aren't they? Absolutely shredding them. From all parts of the floor, the Florida Gator offense clicking on all cylinders.
13 straight Florida points. And now the TV timeout can't come quick enough for Bruce Pearl.
Sometimes shoot-arounds are a reflection of what might happen in the evening. Tennessee's shoot-around was very loose. Florida's shoot-around was very tight, very concentrated, with a lot of work involved, and right now it's showing up early in this ball game.
First foul of the ball game finally stops play, Jimmy.
That pick-and-roll basketball. The roll man gets the basketball in the middle, the dive man along the baseline, the random pick-and-roll working in perfection for Florida.
Get in the game.
All right, Carl, so number 1 UConn falls there. And, of course, Lady Volunteer basketball. There's so many banners up here you can barely count, including the national championship a year ago. And now here the men's team ranked 7th in the country. And they are in a big hole against the number 22 Florida Gators, who have just literally run out 13 straight points since it was 3-3.
Boy, with that loss to UConn tonight, Tennessee's Lady Vols in great position to jump to number 1 in the next poll. What a start, by Florida. Offensively, they are clicking. And again, they get good looks. Every time they play, Florida gets good looks. In their losses, they've only shot 38% from the field, but it has not been because they have not had good looks at the rim.
Bruce Pearl just sort of did a Dean Smith, Roy Williams. Put 5 new guys in there and said, somebody go play. Tyler Smith hands it off to J.P. Prince underneath. Well, that's the best look they've had since the opening three-pointer by Lofton. Trying to bring the heat, but Hodge has got a 3-on-1. And an easy bucket on the other end. Alex Tyus on the run.
And it might be a gamble to press Florida because I think it might make Florida a better team. They are terrific passers. They press themselves in practice every day, and they know how to handle it.
There's a 3 by Lamar Smith. Beg your pardon, that was Jarrell Smith. And a foul outside on Jordan Howell. Check in with Janine.
Well, Brad, I watched Coach Bruce Pearl very closely at that last time out. He spoke with his assistant coaches first. He was shaking his head, and then he said to his players, I told you Florida was going to start quickly. He said, if you get a look, go ahead and shoot. He said, Florida only missed 1 shot that whole period. We got to guard better.
They were almost flawless. Parsons in the lineup. Calathis and Werner. Tyus. Calathis trying to pick and roll. Gets it over to Hodge. Long 3. And off the glass. Don't think Walter called it, but he'll take it.
Sometimes when you're shooting the ball as well as he is, though, those things happen for you. Averaging 16 over the last 3. And basically his game right now is 3s and backdoor layups.
Here's Lofton on a runner. Chris Lofton's got 5. Again, Tennessee chasing and Florida breaking the press easily. Oh, tough catch by Hodge right in front of the Tennessee bench. Werner, he's hit 1 already. This one won't go, and Lofton will try to push it. 3-on-2. Howell for 3. Halfway home and comes out on it. And offensive foul on Tyus. Well, rivalry week presented by Cisco. Coming up tomorrow, we got a doubleheader for you, 7 o'clock. UConn takes on Syracuse, and at 9 Eastern, another chapter in one of the most storied rivalries in college hoops. Number 2, Duke. Number 3, North Carolina. Those in the ACC markets will see Pat Knight's debut as the head coach at Texas Tech against Baylor. Nick and Pat Calathis, 34 points between the two of them. Tyler Hansbrough and his brother. A couple of the great brother combinations in college hoops this year.
Well, everything we hear right now says that Ty Lawson may not be playing tomorrow night in that ball game. You talk about a huge loss to North Carolina at a pivotal time. You and I have seen North Carolina without Ty Lawson on the floor.
Yeah, well, they don't have Bobby Frazier. Of course, he had ACL surgery. So Quentin Thomas, the senior, that's a big burden on Quentin Thomas. He's a good spot player. I don't know if he can go the whole way. We'll find out. And the return of Dick Vitale tomorrow night. Going to be good to have Richie back on the airwaves. His first game since his surgery.
When you hear the words, it's awesome, baby, and Duke and North Carolina are playing, you know college basketball with the Super Bowl behind us is on center stage for the next 6 or 7 weeks.
That's a good point. Ryan Williams has been getting more and more time in this Tennessee lineup and knocks down both free throws. The big guy cuts it to 9. It's been 13 on several occasions, and now over the scorer's table and out of bounds. A sloppy turnover by Florida.
You know, it's really difficult to reverse the basketball that quickly when you're throwing to a guy that's only about 5'10", which is what Lucas is. I like it when you reverse it to the weak side to have a bigger target for that simple reason right there. Easy to overthrow someone in a speed game up the sidelines.
Prince crosses the lane and off the glass. J.P. Prince with 4 off the Tennessee bench.
Florida choosing to quickly grab that ball out of the net and beat Tennessee's pressure with speed.
I bet you Billy Donovan's not crazy about that choice of shots by Calathis. 21-14 down to 7. Tennessee has settled in a little bit here with 13 minutes left in the half. Lofton guarded by the freshman. Prince is not shy about shooting any kind of shot.
He's a driver, and right now Lucas at 5'10" can't keep up with his length or his first step.
Prince has made it a 5-point game. And the crowd for the first time into it.
Florida needs a pick and roll action to get things triggered. There it is. Something good should shape up off of it.
Lucas gives it inside to Spates, and a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be on Williams, although Prince was there as well. Brian Williams picks up the foul.
A good job by Lucas because he had a defender running out of control at him. And then from there, it's just a simple drive the ball to the gut of the defense, and Spates just kind of drifts off of the drive.
Spates' last 4 games have been very impressive, too, averaging 16.5 points, 8.5 rebounds. 6'10 sophomore out of St. Petersburg. And he's got 5 here early. Werner comes back in, and Jonathan Mitchell goes out.
Brad, Spates is the one guy for Billy Donovan that has to stay on the floor. He can't get into foul problems because they do not have another strength guy around the rim to come in behind Spates.
That's the other problem they had against Arkansas. Those huge guys as Werner on the inbound scores. Terrible turnover for Tennessee. Chisholm still having trouble. Lamar Smith's going to take it coast to coast. Tennessee so fast. They show their speed there. Here's Spates on the hook shot. Rebound. Comes off to Jawan Smith.
Well, Tennessee does a great job of almost utilizing a moving screen in transition with a big, and their guards work off of it awfully well.
Jawan Smith for 3. His second. 24-21, Florida. 13-point lead has disappeared.
Both clubs will be very happy if the game's played in the 80s. This is the pace, the style, the speed that Florida and Tennessee are most confident in.
Jay Lucas picks up his dribble. Spates, the outside jumper. Good shot. Spates with 7.
Florida's a young team. At times, they've been offensive sensitive. When their shots don't fall, their defense lets them down. Look at this guy.
Chris Lofton barely moved the net. 2-point game.
I asked him today if the rim was starting to look a little bit bigger over the last 2 weeks. He said, just a little bit. And when you're in a zone like he is, that rim can sometimes expand by 3 or 4 inches in your vision.
Spates, the hook shot. Boy, Spates has been strong inside. Every kind of shot so far for the big guy. Lofton might try heat check right here. Go!
When he's on, he's as good as anyone in the country shooting that shot.
Calathis quiets the crowd temporarily on the baseline. Just a little floater by Nick Calathis, leading scorer for Florida.
The only way to stop Lofton now is to not let him get a touch.
Oh, Chisholm with a 3. We're tied at 30. Hodge against Chisholm all the way. Partially blocked. Rebound Lofton. Tennessee has not led in the ball game. Smith short on the 3. We're under 10 minutes, and it's up and down the floor about as fast as you can watch a game.
You talk about an explosion out of Tennessee. That's what they can do, especially in this building. There's the pick and roll again.
Beautiful. Great look by Calathis, who leads the conference in assists. Shows you why there. Great vision by the freshman to get it to the big guy underneath. And Maurice Spates has got 11.
You know what, Brad? If Calathis was 6 feet tall, he wouldn't be able to make those plays because the defense did a pretty good job of chasing him, but he has the height to get it off anyways.
Lamar Smith, rebound, Spates. Here comes Jay Lucas in a hurry. Thought better of going against Chisholm and backs it out. We may never get a timeout here.
There's some tired bodies on the floor right now. Prime time for a foul to be called. Tired defender will reach at the end of the play.
Bruce Pearl urging, that's the right word, his troops on defensively. He's going to break a gasket over there if he doesn't watch out. Hodge against Lofton. 3 on the shot clock. Lofton Tennessee comes up with a steal. Shot clock expired anyway. Now we got a timeout. 8:37 remaining in the first half. It was all Florida for a while. And then number 5 said, my time, my floor, my shot. How about another? How about 3 already? And 386 in his career. And it's 32-30. As Tennessee and Florida in a close 1-2-point game after an early rush by Florida to go out in front by 13. Tennessee ranked 7th in the top 10. And, of course, number 2 and number 3, the matchup tomorrow night between Duke and North Carolina, with Memphis still unbeaten at 21-0. There you look at the rest of the top 10 in the ESPN US Today coaches poll.
Well, from what I've seen, I think UCLA playing as good a basketball, if not better than anyone in the country right now. And a club that's not even in the top 10, not even in the top 25 right now. Louisville is really, the last 2 weeks has really impressed me. Their win last night at Marquette is the top RPI win in conference play so far this season out of the Power 6. That's why Louisville right now, in my estimation, is one of the 8 teams. I think there's only 8 teams right now that can play their way all the way to that final game in San Antonio. Louisville is one of those 8 on my list.
Tennessee is hoping it's one of them. Florida,
they are.
They just keep winning championships. And Tyler Smith, his first basket. And it's tied again at 32. Tennessee already has 6 3-pointers in this first half, by the way. They're the top 3-point shooting team. Average between 9 and 10 a game. And they're well on their way. And now diving for the loose ball. Lucas keeps a handle on it and finds an open man. Rebound comes off Jawan Smith. Jawan runs with Lofton. Long ball. Cruz trying to keep it alive, and he's going to get fouled from behind by Parsons. Well, we've had 3 ties at 3, at 30, and right now at 32.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 24, David Robinson. David Robinson grew a lot during his college stay at the U.S. Naval Academy, literally gaining 6 inches throughout his 4 years. The 2-time All-American holds the NCAA single-season record for blocks. IBM, getting it done.
David Robinson, sensational college player. Naismith and Wooden Award winner in '87, as well as Player of the Year, NCAA record for a season in block shots, and then went on, of course, to not only a sensational professional career in San Antonio, but what he's done for that community. You can't have a better role model than David Robinson. IBM number 24, and we'll count them down all the way up to March 8th, Duke, North Carolina, and who's the number 1 college basketball player of all time.
If he's 24, I can't wait to see the next 23.
We did this during the football season. Yeah. When I started seeing guys that were winning Heisman trophies like Earl Campbell, and they were buried down there like 12th, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that thing made no sense. The college football countdown made no sense. This one does. So there are some outstanding ones to come. The press so far, Brad, has not bothered Florida. They use a size guy like Warner to take it out. He has vision as a passer. And they're doing a good job, Florida is, on their 2nd and 3rd cut. That was a foul.
And that's a foul on Prince. Prince picks up his first.
Brad, watch Florida in their press breaker the next time that Tennessee presses them. Those guards trying to get open for Florida, it's not their first cut or their second cut, it's their 3rd cut that gets them open. You have to have that kind of continuous effort against Tennessee to get that ball in bounds.
And whistle and a foul. And with that, let's check in with the SportsCenter 30 at 30. Here's Carl.
Hi, Brad. Thanks very much. Shaquille O'Neal has told an associate of his he believes that a change will be imminent, that he will be traded. The Heat have told Shaq and his representatives they are in serious and ongoing negotiations with the Phoenix Suns. And the number 1 team in the ladies' land, the UConn Huskies, previously unbeaten, now once beaten Rutgers, 73-71. Highlights on ESPN News, SportsCenter after the game.
All right, Carl, some interesting things going on with Shaquille O'Neal. Phoenix. Jimmy and I were sitting here going, who would trade for Shaq at this stage of his career?
With that money involved?
Yeah. Chisholm comes back in, and Duke Cruz will sit. That foul is on Adam Allen of Florida, his second in about a minute.
Know the depth of Tennessee. They have not had one guy foul out of a ball game all season long. That's amazing.
Well, it was at one point 13 straight points by Florida to go out in front by 13. And then Chris Lofton and
backside line
started hitting threes, and now a lob to Prince underneath. And Tennessee's got its first lead of the ball game.
Not the first time that Florida goes zone or Tennessee faces a zone. They will try that backside lob play.
Trying to come up with a timeout as they played for the steal, but on the baseline it'll be Florida ball. First time Tennessee has led. Here's how they got it.
Perfect pass to the right side of the rim, but the timing on it is what's outstanding. Little salute to the passer, which you appreciate if you're the finisher.
Prince has finished with 8 points so far in this half.
Florida's got to get back to their pick and roll action now. Lucas needs some help to get some pressure off of him. Here comes the pick to help the pressure.
Lucas trying to penetrate, and then the kick out to Warner. And he knocks down a three. And a big collision in the paint. Let's see who the foul's on. John Cahill's found a guilty party. The three is good. And the foul's on Tyler Smith. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Great job by Florida to use a sprint pick and roll to help Jay Lucas get off the pressure. Then what did that ball screen allow Lucas to do, Brad? Get to the paint, force the defense to contract, and then he kicked it out. All triggered by the pick and roll action again.
Jimmy, this could be a 5 or 6 point possession here. Going to be 6 if that goes, but it's an air ball to the other side. Prince. He's got Chisholm on his right, and Big Wayne takes it all away. Prince will keep it alive. And now we have a whistle and a foul on Warner. Well, wait a minute. It's not on Warner. It's on Prince. Bruce Pearl's going, wait a minute. I think they're just going to call him out of bounds. Well, he's out of bounds there. He's definitely out of bounds with the collision on the other side.
A lot of contact. Lucas again having problems if he doesn't get some help getting that pressure off of him. Florida's going to have to continue to set some pick and roll action for Lucas just to get into their offense. There it is again for Hodge.
Warner, it's been hot out there. Calathis and Jawan Smith got tangled up. There was no foul called there either. And back come the Volunteers looking to regain the lead. Chris Lofton not on the floor right now.
3-2 zone again. If you're not careful, Tennessee can throw that backside lob because you got a small guy, Lucas, down here on the bottom corner. Now they get realigned.
Chisholm at the elbow, spins inside with a left hand. Nice move, lost the headband, but got the basket. Tennessee back in front by 1.
Brad, that's too easy. When you're playing a zone defense, you can't allow easy looks like that around the rim.
Don't forget, we got more basketball coming up as part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco on Thursday. Doubleheader, 7 o'clock. West Virginia takes on Pittsburgh. Then at 9, Big Ten action. It's Illinois and number 13, Indiana, getting together. Had to take Warner out because he had blood on his elbow, so he heads to the Florida bench. With just under 5 minutes remaining in the half. Oh, what a beautiful. What a pass by Calathis. And you wonder why he's averaging over 6 assists a game. And he had some Zuzu on that baby. That got where it was heading in a hurry.
Their pick and roll action, Brad, is so difficult to defend because they have multiple guys and multiple ways to get into it. And Calathis at 6'6", kind of like Gravis Vasquez at Maryland, who we saw Saturday. So good operating off that pick and roll action.
Prince fade away from the elbow. Kept alive momentarily by Williams, but he lost it to Hodge. Lofton back in there guarding Hodge. slows the Florida transition, but they lead by 1 as we approach 4 minutes.
Just stay with it. If you're Florida, stay with your random pick and roll stuff right now. It's been good to you.
And Parsons throws it up in there. It's going to be a foul before the shot. Florida in front, 37-36. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the half. All right, Carl, we'll see you guys in about 4 minutes here. It is Florida by 1 as Jimmy takes us inside the play presented by Lincoln.
You know, Florida does a great job of what I call a pick and sprint, and this is going to be the pick guy here, Spates, and he's going to come up, Brad, and set the pick and then sprint to the rim. So he never loses vision of the basketball. Now watch this. He's going to gain a lot of speed. There's the pick. Boom. Now watch him gather up speed, going to the rim, gets a target hand up, and Calathes finds him. A lot of times guys will set that pick and then reverse roll out of it. That's too slow. Spates did a good job of picking and then turning and sprinting to the rim, and Calathes nailed him on the numbers.
One of 12 assists by Florida already. Tennessee has got 10, and both teams a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio so far in this half.
That little pick and sprint move is matriculation down from the NBA has really started using that the last 3 or 4 years, and guys like Billy Donovan pick up on it.
Nice hands by Josh Tabb, who just checked in, to tip that ball away and give it back to Tennessee. Howe for 3. Spikes had it and lost it. Tabb got it back, give and go with Williams, and he's pushed. Foul's going to be on Walter Hodge. 7th Florida foul. And Josh Tabb will go to the free throw line. There's the sophomore out of Carbondale, Illinois' numbers on the season. And missed a free throw. So Florida maintains a 1-point lead as we're down to 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Parsons drives and leaves the extra pass to Spates. They got mugged by Brian Williams. Let's check in with Janine.
Well, Brad, I was just listening in on the Tennessee huddle, and Bruce Pearl was telling his guys, you know, we've got to do a better job getting over the top of these Florida ball screens. We have really got to cover these ball screens better, and that is something that they worked on today meticulously in practice. So it's something that he had a feeling was going to be a problem.
And it has been, especially on that last play Jimmy showed you. And they've had more than one of those in the first half.
Well, his concern is if you don't go over the top of those ball screens, Florida has the ability to step back and knock down threes on you. The gamble by going over those ball screens, though, is if you are just a half step late, it allows guys like Calathes and Parsons and Hodge and Lucas to get into the lane. So that's something that Bruce Pearl will have to make a judgment call as this game goes on. Does he want to continue to fight over the top of every ball screen?
Maurice Spates has surpassed his season average here in the first half. Florida back in front by 3. Chisholm will try to tie it. And Spates with a rebound. He's done it off the glass, and he's done it as a scorer so far in this first half.
Good screen. There's another good screen. A 4 and a 5 screen up top.
Lucas
the bucket.
Took it all the way. Not sure if he looked like his brother or his dad on that one, but he put it way up on the window for his second field goal, and then he picked up a foul immediately afterward.
Terrific job by Billy Donovan, setting a high ball screen, Brad, with his 4 and his 5 man. Very difficult to defend, and if you don't defend it properly, Lucas just takes it all the way to the rim. They are so good, and they come at you in so many different ways with their pick and roll options in that Florida half-court offense.
So now Howell will go to the free throw line, having been fouled by Lucas in the backcourt. The senior out of Auburn, Alabama. Pretty much everybody in the family played for Auburn except Jordan, wearing the same number that his dad Rex and his brother Brett wore at Auburn, the number 15, and he's got his first point of the ball game.
Doesn't get to the free throw stripe often. 28 of his 33 attempts in conference play from the three-point line. Kind of a designated shooter type guy. So
Lathis, there's the pick from Spates. He'll try three off the pass from Werner.
Beautiful offense. Beautiful offense. Sprint into a ball screen. The 4-guy flashes the 5 rolls.
Offensive foul on Chisholm. A little bit out of control on the drive. And so the lead has ballooned back to 7 for Florida over number 7 Tennessee with 2:27 remaining in the half. Remember, it was tied at 32. And at the 4-minute mark, it was 37-36 Florida. Now 44-37.
Brad, every coach in this league will tell you that Florida, no matter what you do to them defensively, they're going to get good looks. They've got a mastermind on the sidelines how to pick you apart. Scouting reports where your weaknesses defensively, and Florida attacks them, and that is showing up in this ball game.
Odds around 2 picks, got it back to Werner. Behind the back, probably not a good move, although the possession arrow is going to go to Tennessee. Don't forget, rivalry week presented by Cisco continues tomorrow. Doubleheader. First, it's Connecticut in the top 25 now, taking on Syracuse. And at 9, number 2 Duke, number 3 North Carolina. That's about all you have to say. Those in the ACC markets will see Pat Knight's debut as the Texas Tech head coach, with his dad having stepped down yesterday.
Well, that Duke-North Carolina game, so much at stake. Not only a battle for the ACC first place right now, but you talk about the first round being in the backyard of those 2 schools this year, the NCAA, and then the regional to follow between Charlotte and Raleigh. What a huge boost that is for the number 1 seed in the East, if it's Duke or North Carolina, to stay basically in their backyard on their journey to the Final Four.
Chris Lofton had that one go halfway in twice, and then he forced a turnover on the sideline. Nice hustle defensively by Lofton after missing the 3. So Tennessee will keep it with a fresh shot clock. 1:44 remaining in the half as they're down 7. Smith on the drive, a little bit short. Werner is going to be fouled. Tyler Smith got the push. And that is 3 on Tyler Smith, and that's not good news for Bruce Pearl.
No, because he's their shortstop. He's their ultimate blender. Leads him in assists and steals, rebounds, knocks down shots, versatile defender as well.
I think Bruce Pearl is saying, wait a minute, you got the wrong guy. I think he's saying it wasn't Tyler Smith, it was Duke Cruz. You know, I got tend to agree with you, but I didn't see it the way the officials saw it. I was going to say Cruz on the foul because I didn't think Tyler Smith was as close proximity-wise defensively as Cruz was, but I guess they're going to leave it that way.
You see at the end.
There's Smith. Well, his foot,
yes,
his foot was on his back. I just saw Duke Cruz with the swipe at the ball, so good call by our officials.
Remember, Tennessee has played 21 ball games this year. And because of their depth and they spread their minutes out so well, not one Tennessee Volunteer has fouled out of a basketball game yet.
Duke Cruz even goes as far as sometimes get rid of the headband as kind of a psychological thing if he gets in foul trouble. I kidded him about it in warm-ups before the game tonight. Said, how come you lost the headband last week? Said I had 3 fouls. Okay, superstition, I guess.
I guess.
Whatever works.
The zone by Florida has slowed Tennessee down a little bit and has also made Tennessee impatient. I don't think they've got enough side-to-side touches of the basketball to settle for a lot of first-side jump shots.
Well, there's a good jump shot. If we get a Jawan Smith over on that spot, he's got 3 threes this half. And that cuts it back to 6. Great 3-point shooting team in Tennessee. Tops in the SEC, and that has kept them in this first half. Lathis almost stepped over the line on that dribble. Here's a guy that's been tough to stop for Tennessee. This time he is stopped. Rejected by Duke Cruz down on the low block.
You know, Spates got too low on the initial touch. You want your low post guys, Brad, to catch that basketball above that first block. He caught it below the first block, and when he reverse pivot, he was automatically behind the rim.
Lathis on a quick 3 after he's the guy that threw the ball in, and now we're going to have a foul on Florida. that should send Chris Lofton to the free throw line.
Quick shot out of the corner by Florida. They had an opportunity to ball fake and drive it along the baseline. Tennessee defense flying out of control. Both clubs have been a little quick triggered, even for as much offense as these two teams bring to the floor.
This is normally an automatic. The number 2 free throw shooter in the conference, Chris Lofton. Lofton with 12. And he's gone over the 1,900-point mark in his Tennessee career now. Our Star Watch update, both those guys have played extremely well. Look at the numbers on Calathes. He's flirted with a triple-double a couple of times this year, and he's doing a little bit of flirting again.
And as good as Florida's press offense has been this first half, they need to have another good run right here because Tennessee's going to come with some pressure a little bit. Try to get a turnover before this half ends.
About a 12-second difference on the shot clock and the game clock. As Josh Tabb trying to pick up the defensive intensity on Walter Hodge. Calathes, there's the roll. Pass back to Werner, who didn't take the shot. Calathes, they try to run him through the middle, and Tennessee almost came up with a steal.
Billy Donovan saying that Tennessee had possession.
I don't think the officials are agreeing. So far, they are not. They haven't changed the shot clock and turned it off. So that was nobody's ball, and there's 10 on the shot clock, 23 on the game clock. Calathes again looked like he stepped into the backcourt. That's the second time, Jimmy. He's right in front of us. They can't get much closer anyway.
He has a great feel, though, for the geography of that floor because he has flirted with it on the last 2 possessions. Tennessee being very physical with their perimeter defense. This time it costs them. There you see a big out top, and Calathes does the right thing, knowing that I've got a big chasing me 40 feet from the rim, keep my dribble alive, and put it in the hands of the official to make the call with all this contact. Smart play by Calathes.
Lofton comes back in. They want him to maybe get a touch before halftime here. As Florida with a 5-point lead, looking to add to it from the free throw line, and Calathes got them both. Florida's going to take a timeout. Calathes has got a dozen, and the lead 48-42 Gators. This ESPN telecast is available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Brad Nessler, Jimmy Dykes, Janine Edwards, 17.5 seconds remaining at Thompson Bowling Arena here in this first half on Super Tuesday, presented by KFC. It's rivalry week, presented by Cisco, and it's Florida by 6. They've led most of the game. Tennessee had 1 lead at 34-32. They'd like to close the gap a little bit here before halftime.
45% of Tennessee's rebounds have been offensive over the last 2 games. They need one right now.
They didn't get it. Yes, they did. Cruz fought for it.
There you go.
And he's fouled.
That's where they've, sorry partner, that's where they've done some damage over the last 2 ball games. It's doing a great job of cleaning up misses. And Florida did not get everybody boxed off with a powerful purpose. And Duke Cruz now has an opportunity to put 2 on the board.
Duke is 63% free throw shooter, which is actually up from last year. And he rips the first one. That's his first point. Of course, he missed a good chunk of the season. He was detected with a heart condition in mid-December, and it's just been back really 3 or 4 games and getting a few more minutes, coming in earlier in the ball game, getting his rhythm back, getting his conditioning back, and he knocks down both free throws. 3.4 to go. Werner might take a half quarter. No, didn't. No basket. Should have tried the extra pass, and it's going to be a 4-point lead for Florida at halftime. But they led by as many as 13 on several occasions as they really came out of the gates fast. And they lead the number 7 team in the country by 4 at the break. Janine's with the leading coach.
And Brad, they did come out of the box quickly. You led by 11 at one point. What's enabled you to run your offense pretty much as scripted in this hostile environment?
Well, I think anytime you make shots on the road, it relieves a lot of pressure in a lot of different ways. So we were fortunate that we got some shots to go down early, and then we were able to mix it up with getting the ball to the rim as well. But obviously, Tennessee's a terrific team. Only 20 minutes. We got to play 20 more.
What if they shut you down on the perimeter? You've made some pretty good shots from there.
Well, we did, but I also thought we had some action in at the basket a little bit, too. We had some good drives. We got fouled and got to the free throw line a little bit. And then Maurice Spates also was able to get freed up on some pick-and-roll action to the basket.
We'll see you second half. Thanks.
Well, they haven't lost this year under Billy leading at the half. They've got a 4-point lead at the break right now. It's time for the UPS halftime report. Carl, Hubert, and Digger, guys.
We know how you get down, so cut the chit-chatter, 'cause this week nothing else matters. So bring the best, then bring some more, then we'll see where we outscore. It's the rivalry.
Back in Knoxville, Tennessee at Thompson Bowling Arena. It's Super Tuesday presented by KFC. All week, it's Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. And at halftime, number 22, Florida leaving 7th-ranked Tennessee 48-44. Welcome back to Thompson Bowling, everybody. Brad Nessler and Jimmy Dykes. You know, Florida's got to be saying, you know, we're not going to clown around when we go on the road on Fat Tuesday, and they didn't. They jumped out. They scored 13 straight at one point, had a huge lead. Here they are leading at halftime. They've done one thing extremely well, and that's shoot the basketball, 64% in the first half.
If you're Billy Donovan, you're really pleased with how well you shot it, but you're also concerned that you shot 64% from the field, and you're only up 4.
That's right.
And I'm not so sure Florida can continue that hot shooting. They can if they continue to execute so well off their pick-and-roll action. And let's take a look at inside the play. It's a double ball screen up top. 5 sets a ball screen, and then rolls to the basket, and 1 works off of the ball screen, and then 4 comes right behind. So you have a double ball screen up top, and if you can turn the corner, the point guard, you got a chance to go all the way to the rim. And Florida did it a couple of times. Boom, there's the first ball screen. There's 5 setting the ball screen. Now he's going to roll to the basket. Now watch, there's 4 setting the ball screen, and he's going to pop to the perimeter. And as 1 comes off of it, Brad, it's hard to defend. And if you can get those shoulders turned and get towards the rim, good things happen for Florida. I look for Florida to continue to do a lot of that Ramden ball screen here in the second half.
Maurice Spates was sensational. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 15 points. Calathis, who was on our Star Watch, 12 points and 4 assists. Chris Lofton, good that he's got 13 points. Not good that he's your leading rebounder when he's your leading scorer. Let's check in with Janine Edwards.
Well, Brad, exactly what you and Jimmy were just talking about, those ball screens, is exactly what Coach Bruce Pearl was talking to his team about in the locker room. He said, we have done a horrible job. He said, we've got to get over the top. He said, my midline guys have not been making plays at all. I told him that, you know, Florida has 3 players with double-digit points. He only has 1. That's Lofton. He said, you know what? I'm more concerned about defense right now. We have given them 48 points.
Well, we've seen that in past games. When they can turn their defense up a notch, they can turn it into offense in a hurry, and that's what I'm sure he's hoping for. And the second half is underway. Florida 48-44 leaders here to open up the second stanza.
Tennessee with only 5 steals in the first half, and they average 10, and they convert those into a lot of points. Hard to turn Florida over with all their ball handlers.
Lucas got bumped by Jawan Smith. That's Jawan's first personal. Calathis now the inbound. Sometimes he brings it in, and they get it right back to him in the corner. This time he's going to break the other way over to the wing.
Calathis did a good job of backing off that baseline stripe. Depth equals vision when you're going up against the Tennessee pressure in the half court.
And Florida turns it over. And now trying to run. Ramar Smith rejected by Spates. And on the held ball, it is going to be a foul on Smith.
Brett, I don't like point guards that try this boom reverse pivot when they're coming in transition, because that's a slow move. All it's doing is allowing the defense from behind to catch up. If you're a point guard trying to make that reverse 360-degree pivot in transition, I don't like the move.
Lofton chasing Hodge all the way around the corner, and Hodge still got a shot away. Rebound off to Tennessee. Lofton foul on the way up by Hodge. That'll send Chris Lofton to the free throw line.
Foul on Hodge. His second, team first.
So Chris Lofton, before the season's over, will join the 2,000-point club at Tennessee's over 1,900 career points with his effort tonight. 13 so far in the first half.
One of those guys that has taken his game to another level once they've gotten back into conference play. In order for your team to go to another level in conference play, an individual has to do it, and Lofton has been the lead train in this charge for Bruce Pearl. Right now it's 6-1 in the SEC.
Gets him back to within 2. Florida at 5-2, just a game back. Coming off a loss to Arkansas over the weekend, playing much better tonight. Calathis down low to Warner. Great look again by Calathis. His passes have eyes, or have had tonight anyway. Lofton in traffic.
I go back to the statement that coaches that have played Florida so far in this league, they get good looks. They get beat when they don't make their open shots, and that's how they've had their 4 losses this year, only shooting 38% from the field in those 4 losses. But they get good looks.
Tyler Smith rejected by Spates, who's got 2 blocks here in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Spates came in the number 7 shot blocker in the conference, and he has swatted a couple here.
Well, great job by Warner to move his feet and allowed Spates to come in as a secondary defender. Yes, Spates gets the block, but Warner's the guy that set him up.
Tennessee had to shoot in a hurry. They only had 4 seconds on the shot clock on the inbound. And they missed the 3. Again, a great look by Calathis and an easy basket for Tyus. And Bruce Pearl's not going to wait as long this time, because so far Florida has come out of the gates the way they did in the first half. Jumped out to a 52-46 lead in the opening couple of minutes of the half. This ESPN telecast is available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Brad Nessler, Jimmy Dykes, Janine Edwards, Thompson Bowling Arena, where Florida is doing what they did in the first half here in the second half early, Jimmy.
Great offensive execution on their on-ball screening, really causing Tennessee problems. Take a look at this last play. Another terrific job by Florida in what I call a pick and sprint. You're going to see Tyus this time. Watch right here. Now, hold it right here, guys. This is the guy that's setting the screen. Now, the traditional way would be for him to reverse pivot, Brad, and rotate this way to the basket. But they are actually now just turning the corner and sprinting to the rim, and it allows better vision and allows better speed. Boom. And Calathis reads it, and it allows you to also keep in mind where the help defense is. That pick and sprint action, those big curls right now out of those ball screens for Florida, really causing Tennessee problems.
15 assists on their 20 field goals, and 6 of those are Nick Calathis, who's got 12 points and 7 rebounds. And he has flirted, as I mentioned earlier, with triple doubles this year. He has that look like tonight might be the night. And the foul's going to be on Alex Tyus.
Well, Brad, you guys were talking about Nick Calathis' great vision and passing ability. His teammates actually say you better pay attention, because even when you think he doesn't see you, he will actually hit you in the head with a pass.
We've seen a couple of those tonight where it looked like there was surprise, at least on the face of his teammates. Lead cut down to 4.
That's what makes him great, though. If he's surprising his teammates, he's also surprising the defense. Exactly. He does not give his looks away.
Here he is working against Johan Smith. And in traffic, whistle and a foul. Don't forget, Rivalry Week presented by Cisco continues tomorrow. Doubleheader. First, the Big East, Syracuse and UConn will get together. Then at 9 o'clock, number 2 Duke and number 3 North Carolina. In the ACC markets, you'll see Pat Knight's debut as a head coach at Texas Tech against Baylor. And in the North Carolina Duke game, for those of you who will get it, Dick Vitale returns tomorrow night. It's been too long. Richie, good to have you back tomorrow night. Fouls on Duke Cruz.
Brad, if Ty Lawson can't play in that ball game, how many touches can Tyler Hansbrough get? That's the biggest question mark. If Hansbrough gets a lot of touches, Duke will have problems because of their lack of size. But if they can't, Duke could chew those guys up from their perimeter play. That will be a heck of a battle to watch.
If he can't play, can Quentin Thomas handle the pressure of Greg Paulus and company? Should be fun to watch.
Yep.
Tennessee comes up with a turnover and looks to run. Smith leaves it for Lofton for three. Underneath Tyler Smith, but a whistle on the rebound. It's going to be on Hodge. That's his third on Walter Hodge. And out he comes. In comes Adam Allen, who had 2 quick fouls when he came off the bench earlier.
Florida State zone. In Tennessee, they were a little impatient against this zone in the first 20 minutes. They get 3 or 4 touches and a quick reversal. That's where their 3-point shots will come from. So far, this has been good offense for them against the zone.
Tyler Smith, the extra pass underneath to make sure to cruise.
Just 4 or 5 simple passes, you get a high percentage shot against that Florida zone.
Lucas brings it in a hurry. Allen for 3. Don't know about that shot. Rebound comes off to Calathis. Calathis a pass. Spates on a fadeaway. Tennessee's got a 4-on-2. Lofton pull up triple. Got it. Tennessee, a 7-0 run, has taken the lead. Nobody does it better in the SEC. Maybe nobody does it better in college basketball. And number 5, his 4th of the ball game. Ball's in front.
Man, I came here for one thing, to do what I do. I'm all business.
Super Tuesday presented by KFC. Tennessee is taking the lead here in Rivalry Week presented by Cisco, courtesy of Chris Lofton. Jimmy.
But watch Chris Lofton right here as he runs up the sidelines at the bottom of the screen. He is in a great rhythm right now. You see the speed that he ran with, Brad. He got there just as he got to the 3-point line just as the pass was coming to the 3-point line. He didn't get ahead of the point guard. He didn't get behind the point guard. In perfect rhythm in his run, which set him up to be perfect rhythm on the catch and the release. This is a veteran guy that knows how to get himself open in transition.
You saw the improvements from early in the season and to now where he's shooting almost 50% in the last 5 games. Werner works for a shot from the elbow. Thought I heard a whistle. Apparently not. Prince comes down for Tennessee. Tyler Smith, long jump and score it. His best move of the night. And this is the biggest lead of the night for the Volunteers.
Tennessee has great balance in their offense right now. Lofton is knocking down the threes, and Prince and Tyler Smith are driving the ball to the gut.
Calathis missed a 3. Williams with a rebound. Volunteers with a lead, the ball, and on the move. 3 goes for Jawan Smith.
That's the balance and the depth that Tennessee can put on you. Lofton goes out a game, but there's Jawan Smith still as your 3-point spotted up shooter. So many weapons throughout this lineup for Bruce Pearl.
All of Jawan scoring has come outside the arc. 4 threes tonight.
And you see the cleanup and watch Jawan Smith already down there in the corner, waiting for that basketball. Quick triggered, locked and loaded.
Tennessee with 9 threes again tonight, partner. That's what they average. Between 9 and 10 anyway. Werner, nice drive. Nobody cut him off. Werner's got 14, way over what he normally does offensively. Right now, Tyler Smith out there with J.P. Prince, Brian Williams, Howell, and the 3-pointer going from the corner from Jawan Smith from the other side. Jay Lucas picks up his 3rd foul.
Well, he got pushed from behind, Jay Lucas did, and then got pushed right into a guy that was already off the ground trying to get a rebound. It looked a lot worse than it ended up. If you're Florida, a young team, they can't be offensive sensitive now. They got to continue to lock in, or Tennessee's going to go on a spurt.
Well, how about that rebound by Smith, and fouled again, I think by Tyus this time. That's his third. So Hodges got 3, Lucas has 3, and Tyus with 3 for Florida.
The last time we were here, I talked about the importance of Tyler Smith transferring into this program this year. The ultimate blender, and he's a high-profile guy transferring in from a high-profile season in the Big Ten last year. He's blended in perfectly. It says a lot about his character. It says a lot about the character of his teammates to accept him as one of their own.
He was third team all Big Ten, all freshman team in the Big Ten last year. Tyler Smith has 8 points. And the lead goes back to 6. All alone is Hodge. And now Hodge with the cheap hand check foul, and that's 4 on Walter Hodge.
I think pressing Florida almost makes them better. Some teams you press them, it makes them not as good. Pressing Florida might make them better because they do such a great job of getting 3 across that half-court stripe and then throwing diagonal. The Tennessee full-court press has not bothered Florida in this ball game. But Bruce Pearl goes with his gut, when to put the press on and when to pull it off. And you know right now he's starting to think, I've got a lead. How much more pressing do I want to do?
Let's get a SportsCenter 30 at 30. Here's Carl Ravitch. Carl?
Bob, Brad, thank you very much. You take a look at the top stories, and they involve NBA players like Shaquille O'Neal, who apparently is on his way to Phoenix. The deal not done yet, but they are in serious talks, moving Sean Marion and Marcus Banks back to Miami. Both the players involved, the principals, seem to think it's going to get done. Rutgers knocks off unbeaten #1 UConn 73-71. Next game for Rutgers against #2 Tennessee. SportsCenter after the game, guys.
Shaq got a house out in Phoenix. He's only got about 6 or 8 of them around the country. Has he got one out there? He must have one out there.
That's not the offense I would picture Shaquille O'Neal would flourish in.
Kind of slow. I mean, kind of fast for him.
That really surprises
me. Just leave him on one end of the floor, let the other
That's what they may have to do. That really surprises me.
Well, here, speaking of running, Tennessee has run out to the lead after trailing by as many as 13 in the first half. And now Werner picks up the foul. Florida getting foul prone here in the second half. And there'll be free throws the rest of the way. Tennessee 9th in the SEC in free throw shooting at about 65% as a team. And while that's not great, it's way better than their counterparts from Memphis. When you talk about basketball in this state, I'd take Pat Summitt's team over anybody as far as shooting free throws.
Memphis, out of 328 Division I teams, they rank number 327 in free throw shooting. That will not get it done on that next to last weekend or final weekend in that field of 65. Has to get better.
Florida now trailing by 5.
Florida needs to get back to their ball screen action.
J.P. Prince is going to pick up his 3rd foul.
Foul call on Prince. His 3rd, team 6.
You missed the beginning of this game. It was a 3-3 tie, and then it was 16-3 Florida before you could bat an eye. They shot 64% in the first half, but Tennessee has come out smoking here on their home floor in the second half, and they've got a 61-56 advantage. Florida tried to tie Tennessee for the top spot in the SEC East. Tennessee trying to put more separation between them and the Gators. Drive to the basket. And a foul called on Chisholm.
Good job by Parsons to read that with an open post offense, no blue jersey on that low block. The perimeter drives are always there as an option for Florida. Contact on the way up. Parsons has struggled offensively in SEC play, but he has a tremendous upside with his body and his size and his length and his ability to attack the rack.
Looking for his first point of the ball game. 69% free throw shooter so far in the season. Chandler, the freshman, out of Castleberry, Florida, averaging about 9 points a game. So much youth on this Florida team after losing all 5 starters and 10 of their top 14 players overall last year, including Lee Humphrey, who's at the ball game tonight. Was at practice today. Had been playing in Greece and may go back to a professional career in Poland on his next journey. The other guys that were starters are in the NBA. Here's the freshman Jay Lucas, and he lost the ball to the veteran Chris Lofton. Lofton all the way, and he's going back to the free throw line.
A bad mistake by Lucas. 5'11", 158 pounds. Anytime he takes the ball into traffic, he's going to get knocked off of his path. There you see him trying to take it into traffic, and with a light body like that, you can knock him off the ball. And Lofton rips and runs to the other end.
All kinds of foul trouble right now for Florida as one of the best free throw shooters around steps up and hits his 5th in a row in this game.
Brad, you talked about how young Florida is, but talking to Billy Donovan, the goal is the same this year as it was the last 2 years with that loaded squad that he had. The bottom line is play the best that we're capable of playing. That was always the goal last year for Billy Donovan. It's the goal right now for this young Reptiles as well.
Whistle and a foul on Howell. Second on Jordan Howell. So Chris Lofton, another 20-point game, his 5th straight. You know, he started the season slow. We talked about his averages from outside the arc, and we talked to Bruce Pearl about it earlier in the season. And he sort of thought, you know, Chris Lofton was a guy that could sneak up on people a couple of years ago. Now it's Tennessee, top 10. Chris Lofton, preseason All-American, Wooden, Naismith candidate. You know, the pressure gets a little bit bigger on those shoulders and that 6'2" frame, and he just wasn't shooting the same way we've seen him shoot his previous 3 seasons, but it's all coming around. And while he was struggling, Jimmy, the rest of his teammates got better. Yep. Now they have more scoring options, including this guy.
Chris Lofton told me today, Brad, he said the loss at Kentucky was the first time I realized my shot has to get better. And he said that loss took it personal. And he said, I knew from that point on I was going to start shooting that basketball.
Tennessee 4-on-2. Jawan Smith, triple. Rebound. Warner got his hand on it, and I think it's going to be Lofton on a foul from behind. Chris Lofton, the senior out of Maysville, Kentucky. The pride and joy of Maysville. There goes a 3. There goes another 3. Let's try another one before halftime. Let's get rid of the headband. Boom, let's knock one down in the second half.
He really gets himself into a rhythm awfully well. He moves without the basketball with a purpose. When he moves without the ball, Brad, he does it in different speeds. He just has all the small things that go into being a great shooter, because great shooters take great shots, and that's what he's done in this ball game.
Jimmy, just as you were saying about Lofton and that loss at Kentucky, Coach Pearl told me that was definitely a wake-up call for him. He said now he has seen Lofton having a greater sense of urgency. He said he's hunting the line. He's trying to get his feet set and get open. He thinks that the expectations that were on Lofton early in the season kind of weighed on him a little bit.
Here is Lofton looking to get the handoff from Tyler Smith. Whoops, Warner blocked it on him. And timeout taken by Tennessee. 5-point Tennessee lead with 12:03 remaining. Tennessee looking for its 20th win. This already ties the best 20-game start they've ever had. They have never opened a season 20-2, which is what they're trying to do right now. And what they're also trying to do, move up those national rankings again put some separation between themselves and the Florida Gators right now. You can't forget about Kentucky. Right. They're hanging in there at 4-2 in conference play.
Well, Tennessee will be the first to tell you they have their eyes set on a number 1 or 2 seed on Selection Sunday. I think they have all the makings to get there. But I go back to what Bruce Pearl told his club today about 4 o'clock in the walkthrough. He stopped it and he said, guys, let me tell you something. We've never hung a banner right now, and you're playing a team from your own division. This is not a typical game tonight. This is a we want to hang a banner type game, and you better start acting like it right now.
Well, Florida hasn't won here since 05. They lost here a year ago by 10. Then they didn't lose again, as Janine said in the open of the broadcast tonight. Here's Lofton again. That time he didn't get quite as good a look, and Werner had a pretty good hand in his face. 11:55 remaining in the ball game. Tennessee by 5. Dick Vitale returns to the airwaves tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Vitale returns tomorrow night. Duke in North Carolina. And here on Super Tuesday, presented by KFC, Tennessee by 5 in this rivalry week, presented by Cisco. Trailed by as many as 13 in the first half. They were down 4 at halftime. And now they've led by as many as 7. Let's see if Florida can answer the call again.
You and I called and left Dick Vitale a message on his voicemail today. I bet that thing filled up around noon, don't you?
I'd say.
Folks calling to wish him good luck for tomorrow night. Looking forward to his return.
And Chisholm. They're not giving Wayne Chisholm much slack to guard people tonight. That's what he's wondering about right now. Chisholm, the biggest guy that Tennessee has down low, working against Spates.
Well, just not a lot there, was there?
If anything, might have been an elbow on Spates offensively. Maurice Spates was sensational in the first half. This is his first point of the second half. 16 for the game. Got them both. 11.5 to go.
But you know Tennessee is looking for one of those 2 or 3 minute spurts to get this thing up to 10 points. Florida too good offensively so far in this ball game if you're Tennessee to allow them to hang around.
This is not necessarily Tennessee's game. Well, that is. Tyler Smith pretty quiet in the first half, Jimmy, and now he's come to life. 10 in this half.
He's the best that Tennessee has operating on the inside of that zone. He started on the perimeter, but then flashed to the middle. Kind of inverted their offense from his own look.
Werner, the extra pass, and this one was an earned foul by Chisholm, and he's got 4 now.
Again, watch Tyler Smith start on the perimeter against the zone, but after about 4 passes, he's going to become the inside player. He started up top, but that's the versatility that Tyler Smith brings to you, Brad. He can pass the ball from the perimeter and then run to the low block and put a good move on you. Again, the ultimate blender, the shortstop on this team right now is Tyler Smith for all the things that he can do.
Spates has hit all but 1 free throw tonight. And Wayne's got to sit down with 4 fouls. Got them both. 19 for Spates. Cuts the lead to 3. Lamar Smith all the way through traffic. And a big bump by Spates. For a guy that's played so physically inside, he's not in foul trouble at all. His first. Billy Donovan, 12 years in Gainesville. Even though he's the 4th youngest coach in the SEC, he's the dean of SEC coaches as far as longevity. 9 straight times to the NCAA. They'll add to that this year. 2000, they went to the title game, and of course, back-to-back national championships.
I got something that'll put in perspective. Billy Donovan's 42 years old. Bob Knight was the head coach for 42 years.
Exactly.
How about that?
Yeah, that's good. And as they pick up the bodies, John Cahill says the foul's on Duke Cruz.
I thought it was interesting in the interview. Bob Knight did with Jay Billis today. You and I both talked about it. 3 or 4 times he said, the last time I've coached a basketball game here. That kind of left the door open just a little bit now in my mind that he might not be completely done the way he emphasized here.
Says we've done about all we could here.
Yeah.
And more of that interview with Jay will be on SportsCenter following the ball game, by the way. I'd like to get back to see the rest of that. We might have to have somebody play that one for us a little bit later on. And of course, 42 seasons, as Jimmy mentioned, 902 wins, 3 NCAA championships, Olympic gold medal.
The best sound bites over the past 40 years have come from Bob Knight. He's complex, he's calculating in what he does. His influence on the game of basketball will live forever with his man-to-man defensive principles, his motion offense, and the different screening angles that he brought to the game. But I'm not so sure his son Pat has been set up now for success in the remaining 10 games on that schedule.
Jelon Smith, another 3. His 5th. All his field goals are 3-pointers. And again, it's a 5-point lead midway through the second half now for Tennessee.
Now, that's why Tennessee right now is one of the 8 teams in the nation I think can get to that final game because of so many weapons, and their style of play is just a little bit different than what normal people play.
And Williams picks up the foul. Tennessee has 10 3-pointers in this ball game. Their season high is 16. And the big guys are getting in foul trouble. Chisholm, Cruz, and now Brian Williams.
And Brad, the guards of Florida are so good at drawing contact when those bigs from Tennessee step out to show. Florida is going right into their bodies, and now that is starting to become a problem for Tennessee. Cruz and Chisholm and Williams, all of them been being exposed when they're stepping out on those ball screens.
Calathis got 1 of 2. 15 for Calathis, so almost on his average, and he's cut the lead for Tennessee down to 4 again. Prince, wow, what a quick step around Parsons. Parsons with a little bit of an Olay defense there and wrapped his arm around him anyway.
Well, and Prince, he's a driver. His first, second, and third option is to drive the basketball. There's no reason to crowd him on the catch. Let him catch it. He's not going to do any damage over there on the wing, but you crowd him. You do exactly what Prince wants you to do.
Prince's first step was so quick, I'm not sure Parsons even touched him, but they called the foul anyway just because he stuck a chicken wing out there.
Yep.
Hodge back in for Florida. J.P. Prince right on his average.
He could not make a free throw. 6 for 20 in the conference play coming in.
2 of 4 tonight, so he's in double figures. Biggest lead of the game has been 7 for Tennessee. They're up 5 and we're under 9.5 minutes. Hodge all the way around and just had it swiped by Ramar Smith. And now Prince. Foul by Werner. Whoa, everybody, let's calm down. And it's an intentional foul on Werner.
Hodge just gets ripped right here. Terrific play by Ramar Smith with more upper body strength than Hodge. And then here you see the intentional foul. The shove in the back, and that's a proper call. That's an easy call. It's an easy intentional foul call right there.
And Tyler Smith wisely jumps in there to get his teammate back pedaling as Werner heads over with his 4th foul. Fans obviously voicing their displeasure. There's the foul trouble. Both teams have got a load of it right now. Cruz and Chisholm with 4. Hodge and Werner likewise. And the rest follow. The technical was fouled on Prince. That's why Calathis steps up to the free throw line.
Bruce Pearl was laying in to J.P. Prince. because everything was going in their favor until Prince picked himself up on the floor and went and got in the grill of Dan Warner.
There's the foul on Warner, the intentional foul. Now Prince does this, and that brings the technical and gets the officials involved. And there's the tee. Ted Valentine signaling the technical foul on Prince. So now Prince will get his share of things from getting hammered by Warner. And as Jimmy said, struggles from the free throw line, especially in conference plays. 2 out of 5 from the stripe. And he missed them both. He'll get the basketball, and that's all out of this deal. In fact, they lost ground on that play.
How many times do you see an intentional foul like that and you lose points?
Almost never.
Yep. But they're not keeping your composure. J.P. Prince is what allowed it.
Now, unless they get something out of this inbounds play, going to talk about a losing effort on that last possession. And Juwan Smith missed the 3, but Tyler Smith kept it alive. Fresh shot clock, and we'll approach 9 minutes now. The 7th-ranked Tennessee leading number 22 Florida by 3.
2 small guards up top. Lofton can get his shot off if he wants.
He's going to leave it for a teammate instead, and he got it to Ramar Smith for the flush. Calathes had it knocked away from behind. Lofton ahead to Smith. The extra dish, Tyler Smith. Score!
They are relentless. I think for the past 3 months, Tennessee plays harder than anyone else in college basketball for the entire 40 minutes. Here they're coming at you again with a burst of energy in this building.
Lucas in the tall timbers. What a drive by the little guy. And now thrown away. Hodge with a steal off Ramar Smith. And he has it rejected out of there by Tyler Smith.
Careless with the basketball. But again, the ultimate blender, Tyler Smith, does not allow one mistake to become 2 for his team. That's how you win championships.
Bates trying to battle for his own miss, and instead gets a foul call. Well, they are battling, aren't they, in the SEC East tonight? Whatever it takes. Just under 8 minutes to go. Tennessee by 5. Cisco Game Track. 2 guys who are in our Star Watch, Jimmy, are doing it in just about every fashion. Chris Lofton and Nick Calathes.
Calathes flirting with a triple-double, isn't he, tonight?
Yeah. He's close. Still a long ways to go. Tennessee by 5. Chris Lofton and Juwan Smith have been nailing down 3-pointers. In Juwan Smith's case, 5 threes tonight. And Tyler Smith at the free throw line's had a sensational second half.
Can Florida get enough offense out of that pick and roll, random pick and roll stuff they do on the perimeter to hang in this ball game?
Wow, Williams' offensive rebound was big. And Smith try to score again. Calathes has another rebound. 3-pointer. Lofton will pull it off the backside.
This is a point where Florida can show man and then go zone. Good read by Tennessee.
Kick out. Followed by Ramar Smith. Nice hang time by Ramar Smith. And the lead goes to 8.
Again, 45% of Tennessee's rebounds the last 2 games have been offensive, so they're doing a great job of cleaning up their misses. That was a big one there.
Tyus, a hook shot off the glass. Tough shot by the freshman. Jawan Smith inside, and he's going to draw a foul and go to the free throw line. Could be on Allen, and that'll be his third.
Yeah, Tennessee went to their little baseline flex cut on their offense, and they go to that when Bruce Pearl wants to get control of the basketball game. Both these guys were assistants under Tom Davis, and they have taken that simple baseline flex cut into their offense. And you play a hectic style like Tennessee and Maryland does, at some point you just want to have some control. There you see the baseline flex cut, boom, invert your offense, slows the game down, gets the ball to the high percentage spots on the floor. Tennessee goes to it when Bruce Pearl wants to get some control.
Jawan Smith got one of two. Warner just came back in with a rebound. Calathis wants it back for a three. He's saying somebody got a hand on it, which I would assume because it was an air ball. That's what he's hearing from the crowd.
Yeah, he's too good a shooter to miss one that bad without some kind of contact on the ball or his hand, one or the other.
Under 6.5 minutes. Tennessee by 7. And foul. Don't forget, Rivalry Week presented by Cisco continues on Thursday. Doubleheader action on ESPN, 7 o'clock Eastern. West Virginia Mountaineers take on number 25 Pitt. And then at 9 Eastern, Big Ten action. Illinois and number 13 Indiana. SportsCenter is following us. 6:21 remaining in the ball game here. They'll have more with the conversation with Jay Billis and Bob Knight. Talk more about the possible trade of Shaquille O'Neal to Phoenix. All that and a lot more on SportsCenter. Jawan Smith, big night. 5 threes and 3 ones.
5 threes and 3 ones.
Yeah, he's playing poker. He's doing
pretty good card hand, isn't it?
Goes out giving his team the biggest lead they've had all night.
Well, now Florida needs 3 or 4 perfect offensive possessions in this ball game.
Warner for 3. That was not one of them.
That's not one of them. Warner has not shot the ball well from three-point in conference play. That should not be their first option.
Now let's see if Tennessee relaxes a little bit and again tries to utilize a little bit of clock.
I think they'll go to their flex offensive cut now. This is where Bruce Pearl can get some control and just let Lofton fire. Either way, yeah, that'll work.
What a shooter. Tennessee by 12. Spates cleans up on the miss inside.
That's what makes Tennessee, though, is those kids like Lofton, Jawan Smith. They always have that confidence, green light built in, no matter what the time and score is.
Everybody going to the deck trying to save the ball will be Tennessee. Chris Lofton and Jawan Smith each with 5 3-pointers tonight. And watch this one. Talk about confidence. Backpedal. Boom.
Created space, didn't he? Look at the step forward. Boom, then the step back. He has that just little natural lean, about a 7 or 8 inch lean backwards. It gets that shot off over taller defenders.
Kicked ball. Tennessee will maintain possession. 5:17 to go. There's the numbers on Chris Lofton. 6 of 11 and 5 of those 3-pointers. Tennessee, the number 1 3-point shooting team in the SEC, 6th best in the country as far as number of threes hit a game, and they've proven that again tonight. This time going for a 2. Had it rejected by Spates, who's done a nice job blocking shots tonight for the Gators.
Well, Lofton, it's so difficult to get all the way to the rim, even work off on the ball screen, Brad, but the ball screen was set about 25 feet out. That's too far out for a guy like Lofton because he doesn't have jets. If Lofton's going to get to the rim, that ball screen needs to be set closer to that 3-point line for him.
Williams had it knocked away from behind. Now Lucas takes it all the way and had it blocked, but there's going to be a foul. And it's on Williams. Now all the big guys for Tennessee can make the same claim. They all have 4 fouls.
Hard foul on Lucas. Again, a small guy. Doesn't take a lot of contact to make it look worse than it is sometimes. Appreciate the hustle of Williams. Just under 300 pounds to be there to discourage the easy 2 by Lucas.
Yeah, I'd say Jay's about half the size of Brian.
Yes, about half the size. You're right.
Lucas, 6 points. We saw him have his best game of the year against Alabama in SEC play when he had a career-high 19. Williams goes out. Duke Cruz comes back in. Second one rimmed out, and Cruz will snatch down the rebound. We're under 5 minutes. Tennessee by 9. They're on their average right now. They lead the SEC in scoring. They're 4th in the country in scoring. And we still have 4:40 to go. Lofton got his man in the air. The extra dish inside to Cruz. And now Chris Lofton has shown his passing ability 2 of the last 3 trips down court.
A great job of Cruz to react off of the pump fake of Lofton. Because once Lofton pump fakes and puts it on the ground, it tells the bigs, I'm getting ready to pass it. Otherwise, I'm a catch and shoot guy.
Tipped in by Spates. On the miss by Calathes.
As Florida, as a young team, are they tough enough on the road to get back-to-back stops? That's what they're going to have to do with 4:10 to go in this ball game. It's not easy for a veteran club to do on the road, especially a team as young as Florida, but they have it built in them right now to get back-to-back stops.
The last 27 teams that came in here couldn't figure that out.
Well, that's how you prove your strength, Brad, is able to go on the road and win in conference play. As I look at the 8 teams that I think right now can get to that national championship game, all on the left side, UCLA, Carolina, Louisville, Georgetown, Tennessee, Duke, Memphis, and Kansas. Look at the quality road wins they've had in conference play. UCLA with the best one at Stanford with a current RPI of 18 has Stanford. At the bottom of the list, Kansas, their best in-conference road win is at a number 80 RPI, Missouri. But those 8 teams right there, I think, have showed a lot of strength in conference play.
Florida now in serious need of offense. Nice cut to the basket. There's another assist by Calathes on Hodges' reverse layup. Tyler Smith. Boy, what a second half. What a second half by Tyler Smith. Calathes, I don't think he can run that one down. He can't. 3:41. Tennessee's put up 90. Florida short by 11. Yeah, it looks like Tennessee's going to more than survive here. They lead by 11. Still have 3:41 left, though, as we check in with Janine.
Well, Brad, in October, the Sporting News named Thompson Bowling Arena the best home court advantage in the SEC. Even Tennessee's PR department told me they were surprised at that one. I spoke to senior Jordan Howell, who told me that his freshman year here, the crowd was so quiet and unenthused, they could actually hear people having non-game related conversations while they were playing. The first thing Coach Bruce Pearl did was remove the seats from the student section. There are 500 standing students there. He said he wanted energy and upbeat enthusiasm. Howell says it's played a big part in their success, and they're looking at their 27th home game win here, guys.
And they don't ever sit down, that student body down to our left on the baseline that Tennessee is working toward right now. It's become quite a ticket in this town.
Student section's gotten better, and the talent's gotten better on the floor. Has something to do with it.
You don't get much better than that guy shooting the ball. Chris Lofton, another through. 6 in the game.
Well, Tennessee has some areas that concern you when you get to March. Their size around the rim. But one thing they have going for them, they've got weapons.
Florida, another turnover, and Smith will finish it.
They don't, Tennessee, Brad, they don't play hard for 36 minutes, 38 minutes, or 39 minutes. They play hard for 40. And sometimes it's not till that last 3 or 4 minutes that it starts to take its toll, but it has done it in this ball game against Florida. Just the relentless pursuit of the basketball from all different angles. And then once they get turnovers, it's just a foot race. They fight each other to get in those finishing lanes to be there around that rim.
Billy Donovan's told us today, I don't know if we can handle the foot speed of Tennessee, and they have proven in the last 2 or 3 minutes they can't. A lot of teams can't. And your word is perfect, relentless. They just never quit coming at you, both offensively and defensively. The foul was on Cruz, and he is fouled out as Jay Lucas misses the free throw. So Tennessee, I don't know if they give away pizzas or something for the century market here, but everybody's looking at 100 right now. First time Tennessee has had a player foul out all season long because of that rotation and because so many guys average around 17 minutes a ball game. That has kept them out of that area, and it could be a problem for them come tournament time because Chisholm and Cruz are their two biggest guys. And then Brian Williams, who's played more and more minutes recently at 6'10", actually is their biggest guy. Lucas with 8. Final 2:15.
The way Tennessee, their style of play, especially on their home floor, probably only a small handful of teams across the country that are capable of coming into Thompson-Boling Arena and knocking off Tennessee on their home floor this year. They're too explosive.
The outside shooting of Jawan Smith and Chris Lofton especially. And Tyler Smith, who has 19 of his 21 in the second half. That's how big he has been on the inside for the Volunteers.
Remember, this club was down what, Brad, the first
16
to 3 to start the ball game.
Yep.
The light came on, and when it did, it was a bright one.
Jawan Smith all the way. Tipped in by Tyler Smith for 2 more. Tyler Smith's got 23 points. He had 2 at halftime. And the route is on. It sure didn't look anything like this in the first half. Remember, Florida led by 4 at halftime. Here comes 100 plus. Count it now.
Well, it might be a pretty big step for Tennessee to hang under Bruce Pearl. Possibly the first SEC banner, and that's what he talked to his kids about at 4 o'clock today. He was not happy with how the shoot-around was going, and he stopped the shoot-around and said, again, you're playing against Florida, the defending back-to-back national champions that have ruled the SEC East. And if you want to take over the SEC East, you win this game tonight. And they answered his call.
They've never opened up a season 20-2. They're about to open that can in the next 30 seconds. And they are going to win their 15th of the last 16. The winning streak at home will go to 28 games. 41-2 in the last 2+ years. And let's just add 3 more by Jawan Smith. What a shooting performance by Smith, Lofton, and Tyler Smith. And Chris Lofton's just going to hand the ball over to Jawan Smith. 104 to 82.
A super Tuesday in Knoxville for Bruce Pearl and the Tennessee Volunteers.
And a fat win for Bruce Pearl. They're 20-2. 60 points in the second half for Tennessee. Goodness. They look pretty good, didn't they?
Explosive, Brad. A lot of weapons. No one in the SEC has more weapons than Tennessee, and very few across the country can match them on the offensive end.
Show why they're the number 7 team in the country. They win at 104-82. SportsCenter's coming up next for more on this game. Join us on ESPN News for a post-game extra. This has been a presentation of ESPN, worldwide leader in sports. For Jimmy Dykes and Janine Edwards, Brad Nessler saying good night from Knoxville. It's a Volunteer kind of Tuesday evening.